Amici di Moto.it, sono estremamente felice di essere qui assieme a Jeremy McWilliams. Jeremy, thank you for being here with Moto.it.
Thank you for inviting me. It's nice to be here.
Jeremy è un mito del motociclismo. Da 40 anni, forse anche di più, perché la sua carriera è iniziata, no, in realtà circa 40 anni, perché è iniziata quando aveva 24 anni, bene o male. Jeremy è un racer, you're a test rider, è un pilota, un test rider, e sviluppa motociclette. Una di quelle che ha sviluppato, one of those you developed, is this one, the CF Moto. Now you're working for CF Moto, adesso lui lavora per CF Moto e ha sviluppato questa, the 1000 MTX.
Yeah.
Just starting for this.
It's just one of the models that I helped develop with CF Moto. Obviously, they've got a huge lineup of models.
How long are you working with CF Moto?
I only started this year.
Because
so
before
I was with KTM for many years, but
okay.
we know that KTM changed a little bit, and actually, the opportunity came to work with CF Moto because of the KTM, the change in their...
So many things happened.
Yeah, just their circumstances changed a little bit, but actually CF were speaking with KTM and KTM recommended my name to them.
CF Moto and KTM have some strong
relationship. They still have a relationship, yeah. So that's how this contract came about. But yeah, I have to say it's a wonderful company to work with, very forward thinking. Awesome machinery. I love this bike in particular. I was lucky enough to do the throttle maps on this.
You were telling me about this, and the funny thing about the name of the top map.
Yeah, and we have
fine.
the all-terrain pro map, and you know the street version, rain maps, all of the things that, all of the rider aids that we know are on all of the motorcycles, and every manufacturer is producing this. But not just this motorcycle. Of course, I work on the much smaller motorcycles as well. The 450 is a favorite of mine, the adventure bike, and lots of other stuff. And in the future, of course, I will also get to test that beautiful looking V4 that we saw here.
Oh, now we're talking about the V4 anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's out there for everybody to see. So I guess the next step would be that I get to go and test this somewhere.
Oh, you're testing bikes about 30 years, maybe 30, 40 years. Now, nowadays, there's so much electronics. You have to tick all the things. How's different testing the bikes and develop a bike from the 90s to the nowadays?
It's quite different. Of course, I started riding on the streets like yourself on bikes with no traction control or no ABS, no rider aids whatsoever. But actually, the evolution of all of those incredible rider aids, I've been lucky enough that it landed right with me just as I started to finish racing. You know, we were using traction control back in 2002, 2003 on my KR500.
You were racing in the MotoGP with the Kenny Robinson motor.
So I've understood it for many years. So just this is obviously, with all of the years, I think I worked with KTM for 13 years and now with CF Moto for the next number of years. But what I noticed is that those rider aids have got so much better over the years of developing the traction control and cornering ABS and all of those things that are now really at the top level. It took some years, I guess, to some of the earlier ABS interventions at the very beginning weren't superb, but right now I think that ABS technology has moved on. It's much more far advanced than the very first modes.
Which area of the motorcycle you think has developed more in the last 20 years? I mean, electronics, tires, so maybe engine, about power delivery, or anything else? Things that just you may know.
Yeah, I think the things I noticed that have changed quite a lot are, just how the motor and gearbox interact, how much better that's got over the years, how much easier it is to ride a modern motorcycle now compared if you jump on something that's 20 years old. It's quite different. But of course, the traction control is one of those areas, where I've been deeply involved and working really with Bosch. Like a lot of the companies use Bosch. There's other companies that, like Continental, that also supply these this technology, but I have to say that the traction control has got much improved as well. So basically a bit of everything. Rider comfort the manufacturers are really concentrating on giving the customer the best comfort. You know, something that we didn't look so closely at
Oh, really?
all of those years ago. You know, when I started, because the feedback from the customer is, well, I want to ride this
I want
motorcycle
to ride, I want power.
for
I
a
want
long time. So it's everything. Rider Ergo. I was talking to you a little bit about the Rider Ergo on this bike. You know, I love this Rider Ergo because we use benchmarks. We use other manufacturers.
I understand.
So that's as much as I can say. But this Rider Ergo and standover position is by far my favorite now. So
I understand.
this is an important part that, you know, we don't just leave it to chance. We don't just leave it up to the designer. Yeah, at CF Moto, they give it to the test rider and they go, okay, where would you put your handlebars?
It's very quick. It's
Where's your foot peg going to be? Yeah. Where's your gear lever going to be? And then we try like 100 different seat foams.
oh,
And different.
100.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sure
crazy.
easily. Plus, you know, also the surface to cover, how you stand over here,
Yeah.
how the comfort is whenever you're leaning off, you know, the interaction between legs, all of the parts that on the rider triangle that we talk about that touch the motorcycle. I think that's probably one of the areas where I've seen more and more improvements, where the bike is now suited or fitted much more to the customer
Yep.
than basically than what the design drawing said.
Okay. That. Oh, you have been a racer for so many years that you're still racing anyway. In 2024, maybe you had a third place at Northwest 400.
Yes.
It was
yeah,
astonishing because you were 60.
That was this year, yeah. I was third place this year also.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so-
Third place also this year, maybe.
And unfortunately the bike broke in the second race, or I think I would have won the race. So yeah, of course it's nice to still be very competitive and still enjoy my riding.
What it takes to be so good at racing, in road racing at 60? Because you're very fit, fantastic fit, but it's just a mental condition. You know.
I think it's just because when you do something often enough and long enough, of course you get better at it, you know, and you know ways to manage your riding style, for instance, on a road race compared to a complete out-and-out MotoGP circuit where it's a lot safer. So it's about knowing where to take the risks and, you know, how much you can get away with in certain areas on a road race. But of course, you've got, you know, I think when you've been racing as long as I have, it comes naturally. You know, I think when you ride
it's your
so
life.
much, you know, still riding so much, it just becomes a natural extension of, you know, what you do at. And, you know, you've been a journalist for many years, you become a very good journalist. It's
Thank
just
you.
the same. It's just the same thing. That's all it is. Yeah.
Have you any other passion?
Oh yeah, I mean lots and lots of different passions. You know, I mean, hopefully in 2026 I get to go back and race Super Hooligans in Moto America. We're just discussing
And the baggers
that.
too?
No, I won't race baggers next year. I hope I'm a development rider also for Arch Motorcycles,
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves and Gar
Yeah.
Hollinger. So I'm just we're discussing some opportunities maybe to come along in the future. Of course, I'm still there as their test and development rider, so I still jump in and out of working on the Arch bike as well. But yeah, I guess there's still lots of things to do rather than, you know, just sit at home and put my feet up. I much prefer to be involved in the tool wheel industry, helping develop and test riding for manufacturers and occasionally racing. So I think I have a pretty lucky life, you know, that I'm still able to do that. But you know, and
I understand.
You wonder how many years you can keep doing it. Well, as soon as I stop getting podiums, or as soon as I'm not passing up, then
Yeah.
I can clear off, you know.
Yeah. Hope you in 2026 have a podium too. So.
Let's hope. Yeah.
Jeremy, America with Beggars, with Keanu Reeves Arch Motorcycles, Austria formerly with KTM, and now China. So you span your career in a long time and all over the world. Which is the secret, and what are the differences of approach with America and Europe and China?
Kind of all the same, you know.
Really?
Yeah. Like if you look at how Arch Motorcycles develop their motorcycles, they do it in the same way as any major manufacturer would do. You know, that I'd say that this manufacturer with CF Moto, I think they probably test ride very concentrated levels of lots of test riders.
Okay.
So they get lots of feedback from different riders. It's not just one rider. You know, they've got many really high.
Is it
level.
unusual? Is it unusual?
I think this company can do it a little bit quicker because they've got
Okay.
the resources and they've got the test riders available. And you know, I'll jump in and out when they need some help with something. But actually, the level of test riders that they are using is already pretty good.
Oh,
So I mean, every manufacturer do it in a similar way, but there's little differences, you know. And I'm talking about, you know, what part they start testing first. That's all. But all of the
I
parts
understand.
will end up going through the same process. So it's not like one company does one thing and one company does it the other. They all do something rather similar.
Two more questions for you. Thank you for your patience. The first one is about the B4RR that stands upside that way. It's an astonishing motorcycle in my opinion, but maybe you read on it, so you can say something about this.
I have to be truthful. I haven't ridden it, no, but I will ride it. And that's really all I can say about it. It looks amazing. I think one of the biggest showstoppers was when I saw the social media posts of that V4.
You know, the moving winglets. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of strange moving winglets.
Well, I mean, let me test ride it first, and then I can give you my opinion on that, right? But you know, it looks like an incredible piece of machinery, and
it's amazing.
It's great to see that CF Moto are bringing this kind of sports motorcycle to the table now to compete with all of the long established motorcycle manufacturers.
Do you think that 5 years before we can think about this motorcycle, about the V4? I mean,
honestly, I only knew about it probably the same time as you guys got to hear through the rumors and whispers.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I didn't know anything about it when I joined even CF Moto. It wasn't until I joined CF Moto this year that I started to hear that there was a prototype somewhere, and maybe we look at it in the future. But obviously, it's I can't speak about any of the technical aspects about it. It's still in prototype stage, and in the future, I can't wait to tell you all about it when or if it reaches production level or pre-production level, and we can talk about it. But yeah,
I'll text you so you can.
I can tell you, man. Yeah, for sure.
And the last question is, your career is very long, so successful, but have you any regrets?
Not really. I can't say I regret any part of my career. Yes, maybe during some races you might have approached it a little bit differently. You know, when you're leading a race, try not to lead it by 10 seconds or something, and save tires, because back then we didn't have any idea about tire management. We basically just rode the bikes as fast as they would go. So yeah, I think that aspect has changed how races are approached at the moment, particularly in MotoGP, is about tire management. Yeah, I wish I knew a little bit more about that when I was racing. Now, you can see why it makes such a big difference to, you know, the race pace and how much tire you have left at the end of the race. I didn't get to try all of the winglets and, you know, ride height devices and starting devices. That was.
Do you think the MotoGP nowadays are too complicated?
I think it's a little bit too complicated. Yeah, I'd be glad to see them reducing those.
In 2027,
those rider areas. I'm looking forward to that. You know, way back when I rode for Aprilia, I remember Gigi Dall'Igna saying to me, "Oh, you got to put."
You got RS Cube, yes, it was Gigi Dall'Igna. Yeah.
It was Gigi, and Gigi said, "You got to put these wings on." And I go like, Why do we need wings? And he said, let me tell you why you need wings.
You'll see.
Yeah, and he was right. Yeah, but
he was right.
We put the wings on, and of course, it made the bike much heavier to turn and change direction. So I fought always against it. You know, one of the reasons was because of Mugello, when you come up over the hill
on the hill.
And the bike wheelies, because we weren't using wheelie devices then. They were having to do it aerodynamically. And that's why Gigi wanted to introduce the winglets. Yes, it actually worked.
He was right.
He was right.
He was right.
But when you go into very fast change of direction, you can notice that the bike's noticeably heavier and more difficult to change direction. So, yes, there's an advantage in some areas and a small disadvantage in others. depending on.
But now everybody use winglets in the MotoGP.
I think I think the winglets will always remain now because it's also become a beautiful design feature, right?
That's so good on the sign, because I think that MotoGP nowadays are not so beautiful as when you're racing in MotoGP. But it's just an aesthetical opinion,
Yeah,
you know.
I think that's an opinion. I think everybody that's coming into, you know, into this hall now, you know, the younger riders, the younger generation, when they come and they visit a show like EICMA, I think they're looking for those new additions. And in a short space of time, the wings have become, I think, you know, nearly as very important to add the wings, because if you have a manufacturer that doesn't, it kind of looks a little bit dated.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're
under
old,
25,
you're
okay.
like me, but I've already come on to the way of thinking that I like them. I like the wings, and I've tested wings where we also have some effect from the wings on the street, even on the street. Of course, you're not riding at the same level you'd be riding on the track, but as soon as you take those winglets and you put it on the track, you can notice the difference if you had the joy of testing with winglets on and winglets off.
Okay, will be effective.
And you can notice
anyway.
it, and the ground the device as well. You know, you can notice that KTM are using it on their RC 990, and the reason why it's there is because we were able to find small advantages with the aerodynamics that's on that motorcycle at the moment.
Oh, I understand. So now you remember, you have to text me how the before goes, okay?
Okay, all
All right.
right.
Thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome. No worries.